Tesla earnings are next week, and there could be a major shift and change to TSLY after this happens, depending on what happens with earnings. This is Mike. Let's look at it. Tactical stock scalper. All right. So I've been researching the earnings for Tesla and trying to see how this will impact me as someone who owns Tesla. So let's go ahead and look at what happened last time earnings came out for Tesla. Earnings came out here for Tesla. Okay, and you see after earnings, we had a gap down the next day. And then over the course of the next month, we sold off and almost got to 210. That's like an $80 drop on Tesla after the earnings. Okay, well, what happened to Tesla during this time, and what can we expect with earnings coming up this week? Are you guys ready for this? Okay, here we go. Earnings were right there for Tesla, right? So we're around $18-ish on Tesla. And as it followed Tesla down, overnight it dropped from 18 to 16.50 roughly. And then over the course of the next month, it dropped down to 13.50. That's a $5 drop, right? $4 drop. Wow. So let's just kind of be prepared for the worst case scenario. Let's say earnings, whatever they come out, good or bad for Tesla, and let's say we drop relatively close to what we did the last time earnings came out. Here we are at 13.50. Wow. $4 less and put us at $9.50. That's can you imagine after a few weeks that this is now down to $9? People will lose their ever-loving minds. I don't see how the dividends, can initially can recover that loss. It's going to take time. So I just think it's smart to be prepared mentally and possibly with money. If Tesla, let's look at her again, earnings drop it. It's a pretty significant drop. Tesla, since earnings, has never recovered, not up to its former glory of $299. Does that mean it won't in the future? Of course not. It could definitely go to 300 or 400 or 500. Who knows? But we're talking I'm taking a little more narrow scope here and looking at what possibly could happen. So it's never recovered from there. So if we're talking, 300 to 220, that's an $80 drop. Can you imagine what an $80 drop would look like here? And how that will really impact TSLY. Let's look at Tesla again. So what I'm doing is I personally have money I've been holding, waiting for black swan events or whatever, and this could possibly be one coming up. If it goes down to $9 or even $10 or $11, that's a pretty significant drop in TSLY, and who knows if it will ever recover. Tesla hasn't recovered, but Tesla has recovered somewhat. Tesla, since those earnings have come out there at $18, hasn't even come close, not even a sniff of halfway up. It hasn't got to 16 yet. So, this could be a really bad thing for Tesla shareholders. Me personally, I'm not panicking. I am going to obviously wait, check out the next day after earnings, and see what happens. Now, obviously, the flip side could happen, right? You could have great earnings, and Tesla could rip up, and therefore bringing TSLY up with it. And that would be great if that happened. However, as an investor, and this is my capital in here, I need to be thinking about worst case scenario and what my plan is. So my plan is to watch it for a day or two after earnings, and then possibly go in with some money there and really get that average cost down. Now, you keep averaging down on TSLY if this happens, and it continues to fall and fall for months like it has here. What does that ultimately mean for Tesla? Does that mean a reverse split is in the works shortly after? I don't know, but I think this is a pretty important point for Tesla with the earnings coming up for Tesla, because it could drop this thing to no man's land. And then how many people would bail? What happens then? I mean, a whole snowball effect could happen to this fund after that. So something to be aware of, not anything to be scared of, because we don't know what's going to happen. But I think mentally we should all be prepared and maybe have finances in order to be ready to purchase down there to really lower our cost if it indeed has poor earnings or something that drops Tesla way down. I'll talk more about this over the coming days, but I just wanted to get this video out and get this in everybody's mind. This is Mike, Tactical Stock Scalper, out.